Okay, so what did we do to do this miracle change around from going to kind of despising it and hating it and wanting and literally leaving, and now 5 years later being a wedding photographer, and I love what I do, and I want to continue doing that into the future. Have you ever hated wedding photography? I think everyone at some stage of their life has had a strong feeling towards wedding photography. And you don't have to go far on YouTube to see people who are ex-wedding photographers and probably had some horror stories to tell you. After 5 years of being into wedding photography myself, I had come to a place where I hated it and I was done. I was ready to go. In fact, I very distinctly remember sitting in front of a couple that we were shooting their wedding that summer. And I said to them, oh yeah, we're done with wedding photography. This is the end. And I had already lined up some commercial photography. I had one big client that kind of was going to be my job, more or less. And I was done with it. I had been married for 2 weeks. Allie moved from the States to Canada and she was waiting on her work visa, so she couldn't work. And we had 2 weeks of no more wedding business. And then I got an email that out of the circumstances of this new company that was going to be my future, they had to lay me and several people off. So I guess I love wedding photography again. So out of necessity, we looked back at our wedding business and we're like, oh my gosh, we need some income here. How are we going to make this work? And so I remember sitting and brainstorming with my wife, Allie, and being like, okay, what can we do? And I remember Allie turning and looking at me and said, Luke, you started this business. You must have liked something out of it, right? What if this was fun? What if you did this in such a way where you enjoyed it? That was revolutionary to me. I had never thought about it that way. I just thought it had to be the way that I had been doing it. I didn't imagine a world where I loved being a wedding photographer, because at the time I felt so sick and tired of shooting 20 million photos at a wedding and then going home and spending every second of my life just wading through all of these images that I felt like I needed to take. I was tired of selling cheap albums that were kind of garbage, and I never sold any of them anyways because I didn't have the heart to really sell them. I was sick of not feeling appreciated for what I could really do. And ultimately, I was kind of dying inside a little bit. I didn't really feel like an artist. I felt like a monkey. I don't know why, but that just word, that animal keep coming to my head. I felt like a little camera monkey, just running around, taking as many photos as humanly possible so that I could please all of the people. But I never quite felt like I could please everybody. And I think the hardest thing for me was that, I didn't feel like an artist anymore. And that's what I had wanted to be my whole life. I've always wanted to be, I wanted to be an artist. Oh, okay, hold on 1 second. See, I painted this. Will it focus? Okay, I painted this. See, I'm an artist. I know I just copied a Van Gogh, but this is something that really reminds me of how much I loved art and I wanted to be a painter or an illustrator or something. And I did that in high school, and it got me so excited towards the path of being an artist. And when I came into photography, I felt like it was a perfect blending of I could use my artistic skills to tell stories. And it seemed like it was all of these amazing add-ons to what it meant to be an artist. But that was all gone. And I felt like I was just this technical camera monkey. And when I hear other people's stories of why they left wedding photography, why they swear never to do weddings ever again. It seems to be a reoccurring theme of, they don't want to have experiences that they were having. They don't want to be treated in a certain way. They don't want to have to do these certain things. And I totally felt that, and I felt fed up. But then when Ali said, like, what if we did this and we did it where it was fun and enjoyable and you felt like an artist? That was like, wait, what? Okay, so what did we do to do this miracle change around? So the first thing we did was looked at our brand. We made a new brand, actually. And when I say we, I mean Ali, because my soul was empty and dead. And so I kind of gave it to her and I was like, okay, Ali, do whatever you want. Like, I'm so done with this. Like, do whatever you want. And she started researching. She had never really been that into knowing kind of what went on in the wedding world. And so she did a deep dive into who's out there and what are they doing? What are the top photographers? What are photographers that when we look at their brand, we say, wow, I want to shoot weddings that way. And she opened up to me this whole new world of wedding photography that was all surrounded about like people feeling like artists and individuals that are working on their craft that bring this incredible beauty to wedding photography. And she started developing a brand and a vision and all of this to say, like, Luke, what if you shot weddings like this? What if you did wedding photography in a completely different way than what you were doing before? And, one of those things was, she said to me, like, okay, I had interest in shooting film for a long time already, and I talked about it like all the time. And she was like, well, what if you got a film camera? And what if you shot film at weddings? And I was like, wait, what? Like, that you can like do that? That's like, I feel like that's wrong. Like, you should shoot digital at weddings. Like, why I can shoot film at a wedding and people would let me do that? Like, yes, you can do whatever you want. We started to create a brand around us that said, this is how we shoot things. If you want your photos to be, dark and moody. Okay, that's not us. Here's another photographer that does that. Oh, you want a budget wedding at this amount? I'm sorry, we don't offer that, but here's someone that does offer that. Oh, you want us to shoot this like specific list in this way? I'm sorry, we don't do that, but here's someone that would do that. And what making a brand means, what making a brand identity means is saying like, listen, everybody, this is who I am. This is the type of wedding photographer that I am, and that this is what I'm gonna do. And if you like it, hire me, great. If you don't like it, there's someone else that you can hire. I don't have to make everybody happy, which was like, kind of new to me. I just had to make my people happy. And turns out I could make them really, really happy because it was exactly what they were looking for. Make a direction, like make a clear direction of what you want to do, how you want to do things. Like if you're doing wedding photography right now and you're in the place where I was 5 years ago and you're just like, I hate this so much. Maybe make a list of what are the things that you hate so much about it. And could you do something different? Could you structure your business in a way where those things wouldn't happen anymore? And imagine your experience of being a wedding photographer and the things that you hate most about your job aren't issues anymore. And then the second thing we did, which I already alluded to, is that you tell everybody clearly, this is who I am. This is what we do. Oh, like shooting film freaks you out? Okay, that's totally fine. Here's a digital shooter. You can hire someone else. Making a really clear brand, not trying to appease everyone, not trying to be the photographer for everyone. It's very clear now after years of being in this business is that I don't want the wrong client. The wrong client should find a better photographer. I tell my couples all the time when I have consultations, I genuinely go into meeting with a couple to figure out if I am a good fit for them. And I know that can be kind of like sales jargon that can be used, like, oh, let's see if we're a good fit. And then be like, yes, I want every fit. But I genuinely I don't want a couple to book me if I know that they're not going to like what I do. And so I gently say, you know what? I think, this person would actually be a better fit for you than me, because ultimately that can lead to some of the issues that so many people have with wedding photography, is having the wrong client, having the wrong type of expectations. You want to do something this way and the client wants you to do something differently. And that can create a lot of issues for both of you, and for both of you to be ultimately unhappy. And honestly, that is a little bit of the hard thing to do, is to clearly communicate your new brand, who you are, and to stick to it, to stick to selling the most beautiful, luxurious albums that we sell that are quite expensive. We stick to the price that we have because we don't do budget weddings, for example. Another example is, we don't do getting ready photos for 3 hours. We don't do photos of people getting their hair straightened and curled. We take photos after they get ready. That's like a little example of something that we changed, that we felt like you kind of needed to like take all of these photos of getting ready. And I just was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to start taking photos when people are excited to get their photo taken and are ready for it. And so things like that, we went through everything that we did everything that I did as a wedding photographer, and we evaluated it. And we built that out to create the brand that we have today. And that completely changed everything for me. And I went from hating wedding photography and be like, get me out of here, I never want to shoot another wedding again, to where now this is my career that I love and that I'm very excited about. And that every year I get to build on the brand that we've been building for years. And that is really an exciting and fulfilling process.